So you've been sparring and you're starting to notice some headaches and things, and you're starting to get a little worried about it. Well, fear not, because this video is for you. What is going on, guys? It is Dylan the Machete here, and today we're going to be speaking about sparring, headaches after sparring, how to deal with it, how to recover from it, and how to prevent it from happening again. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it, and the first thing that we're going to talk about is making sure that you're not sparring hard every day. Now, at Bangtown Muay Thai and MMA, where I'm training at the moment, where you train in the fighters area, we pretty much spar every day, at least 4 times a week, sometimes more. And the way that we're able to get away with this without getting serious head damage and getting concussion all the time is because we spar super light. Now, I noticed a lot of Thai gyms do this. They spar super light. Sometimes they'll even take the shin pads off and they'll just touch, just getting the timing, getting your rhythm, getting all that stuff. Just making sure that your eyes are working, making sure that your body's able to do what it's meant to do. Now, in Bangtao, if you go over to the MMA area, it's a different story. They're only sparring twice a week, or some guys only spar once a week, and it's a lot harder of a spar. You're only doing 6 rounds, plus you do grappling rounds on top of that. A lot more of an intense, so 6 5-minute rounds, plus you're doing your wrestling on top of that. That stuff is where it gets more intense. Now, that's a different thing when it comes to sparring every day. Now, if you're sparring every day, you need to pull back on the intensity. You need to make sure that you're looking out for your training partners. But even if you're sparring twice a week, don't go hard all the time, especially if you're not close to a fight. If you're not within 4 weeks from a fight, there's really no point in hard sparring because you're going to do more harm than good. And at the end of the day, you're going to end up getting headaches. You're going to end up losing brain cells, and you're going to end up a bit like me, mate. Anyway, moving on. So we're going to be talking about number 2. We're going to be talking about the type of gloves that you wear. Now, a lot of people, they will not spar unless they're wearing 16-ounce gloves. This is a big thing in boxing gyms especially. They force you to put the 16-ounce gloves on. I think 12-ounce gloves are okay when it comes to sparring, but the main thing that I'm looking for whenever I'm sparring someone, or if I'm wearing gloves of sparring, is the padding. Let me show you this glove. This is not a glove that I would want to spar in because it is very kind of weak at the at here. So these are Punch Equipment bag mitts. They're great gloves. They're great for hitting the bag. They're great for hitting the pads. But for sparring, I switch them out for the Siam range. So these gloves are a lot better. They have a lot more padding around the knuckle. These are 16 ounces as well. So 16 ounces work great whenever I'm sparring. They've lasted me a long time as well. So if you guys want to get yourself some of these or some of those, link down below, Machete 10% off. Boom, get onto it. But the main thing that we're looking for when we're sparring with gloves is we're going to make sure that the knuckles are padded. You can wear 12-ounce gloves with more knuckle padding. We can wear 16-ounce gloves with less knuckle padding. I'd take the 12 ounces getting hit by them every day because you need to look out for your training partners. We're not trying to damage each other. We're trying to make sure that we each other get better. And if you want a video all about that on how to spar properly, link down below. Number 3, we're talking about supplements. Now, you can take supplements to help your brain out, whether it's from brain inflammation, brain damage. There's a lot of things that you can take that are going to help your brain cognitively work better. Now, there are 3 main supplements that I take all the time. No ifs, ands, or buts. And these are great for your brain. They're just great for your health in general. So these 3 main supplements: creatine, omega-3s, and green tea. Green tea you might not count as a supplement. I just count it as a supplement. But these 3 main things, they're going to be great for your neurons in your brain. They're going to make sure that your brain is functioning at maximum capacity. When you're getting hit in the head as much as we are as fighters, you do have to take care of your brain. Now, there are some other supplements that you can add on top of this. I'm not on these supplements all the time as much. I kind of cycle through these whenever I'm kind of going through more hard sparring, or if I get closer to a fight, I'm kind of on these supplements a bit more. But these supplements are cordyceps, lion's mane, vitamin D, L-glutamine, NAC, which I very rarely take, vitamin D, which you can just get from the sun. And there's so many other supplements on top of that. You can take curcumin, you can take a lot of things like that that are going to help reduce your brain inflammation. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you're on top of your supplements. Magnesium is also a staple supplement. It is good for your brain, but the main reason I use it is for sleep. And yeah, those are just some supplements that you can jump on if you were getting headaches, or supplements that you should just be on in general. There's also this stuff called neural nectar. It is a little bit expensive, but it's going to last you a long time, and it is great for your neural function. Number 4, this is something very simple, but not enough people do it, and this is hydration. It is such a simple thing, but you can actually get headaches from being dehydrated. There was actually a day, last Thursday, I was at the sauna for quite a fair bit at the night time. I was there for about 45 minutes in the heat. I didn't rehydrate properly, and I woke up the next morning with a really bad headache. Thought that I might need the day off, but I just smashed my electrolytes down, and I still got my 2 training sessions in. By the time my second session came around, I felt great. So yeah, you need to make sure that you're not on top of your water, but also on top of your electrolytes. Now, what I mean by electrolytes, I mean putting salt in your water while you train. That's a big one that I've been doing a lot while I've been out here in Thailand. Just a couple of salt crystals. Boom, open them up and get a little pinch and pinch that into your water while you train. So that's a little thing that you can do. And if you're out here in Thailand training in the heat and you're sweating so much, I have normally 1 or 2 Gatorades a day just because it's hard to get my calories in as well while I'm training over in Thailand. So constantly sweating, constantly burning, it's going to be a lot easier to keep your sweat in if you're having those Gatorades and those sponsors or whatever. You can also get little 7-Eleven packets, like little packets from 7-Eleven that are full of electrolytes. So these are just all little ways that you can make sure that your hydration is optimal. And another thing you can do, boom, water filter up here, put your water in there and it's going to turn it into mineral water. You're going to have a lot more electrolytes and a lot more minerals in your water when you have it. Next tip we're going to be talking about is food. Now, there are actually certain foods that you can have that are going to help your brain inflammation, especially when you're getting hit. Your brain is going to be a little bit inflamed, or even if you're just doing general things day to day that are like using your cognitive function, you're going to need foods that are going to help your brain out. So there have been a bunch of studies about what foods are best for the brain. I've got a list of a couple down here. We have got blueberries. So blueberries are extremely good for your brain. They've actually done studies saying that blueberries actually increase the amount of oxygen delivered to your brain. So there's a fun fact for you. You got your omega-3 filled food. So this is stuff like salmon, tuna, walnuts, prawns, or shrimp, as you Americans call it, sardines, stuff like that. Turmeric or black pepper is also great for brain inflammation. It's also good for just body inflammation. I feel a lot better when I'm having turmeric versus when I don't. The black pepper just helps you kind of activate it, I guess would be the right word. And then you got your green tea on top of that. So I've already mentioned green tea, but yeah, these are all things that are great for your brain inflammation. And if you're getting hit in the head and you have started to notice some concussion symptoms, I got some concussion. If you are starting to notice some concussion symptoms, these are definitely some foods that you need to make sure are a staple in your diet. Final tip we're going to be going over is if you are seriously concussed, rest. Now, I dealt with a very bad concussion at the start of this year. Most of you guys probably know about it. I got dropped on the back of my head clinching, was not a fun time, and I was not right for about 3 or 4 months afterwards. Now, I did end up fighting in this time. I just didn't get hit because I'm just fucking sick, can't like that. Yeah, I was on top of everything during this time. So I'd go to work in the morning. I'd finish like 12 o'clock. So I was a PT back in Australia. So I would do my PTs. I would do some extra work if I had any extra work, whether it be like a landscaping job, whatever I had to do to get by. And then I'd go to the sauna and ice bath, and then I'd go home and nap before the afternoon training session. And this is just something that kind of helped me. I'm going on a bit. I do know what it is like to have a concussion. Mine was so bad that I couldn't even hit the bag without rattling. I couldn't even shadow box. I couldn't even snap my jab out without rattles in my head and feeling like I was going to vomit. So I had a pretty serious concussion. So I know what it's like. You don't want to rest, but you got to rest. It's important. But yeah, other than that, you got to smash your supplements down that we've already talked about. Sleep is going to be a massive thing. Get your naps in during the day if you've got a lifestyle that allows you to. Rest, smash your supplements, plenty of sleep at nighttime, and stress levels as well. So if you're super stressed out, your heart rate is going to be elevated. It's not going to be good, and it's not going to be conducive to your recovery. Breath work is also going to help out. So I'm lucky enough that I've got a guy that sponsors me for breath work. Boom, Brett, thank you very much. And so he got me onto a fair bit of breath work for that. And on top of that, this is a little simple breath work that you guys can do. Just lay in your bed, do some box breathing. So 4 breaths in, 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out, hold for 4 seconds. Do something like that, just to really, really focusing on the breath, not kind of letting your mind wander, just making sure that you're breathing into the bottom of your belly, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe into the bottom of your belly, and do it like that. So little stress relieving tactics like this are going to help out a lot. Just making sure that you're not dealing with unnecessary stress, because stress is going to make the concussion worse. It's going to make your symptoms worse, all that type of jazz. But just remember, these are just tips from me. I'm not a doctor, so make sure that if you are having a serious concussion, that you make sure that you see a specialist. I saw a specialist named Dan Brown. I'll chuck his contact down there. His Instagram, whatever you want to do, go follow him. He's got plenty of good tips up there. There's also Sean O'Malley's concussion protocol. So I'll chuck the link for that down there as well. I bought it and it's helped me out a lot when I was dealing with my concussion. So make sure that you rest, make sure that you recover, and make sure that you do everything you need to get your body back to homeostasis. So guys, there we go. Concussions and headaches and all that after sparring. It is kind of a normal thing in combat sports, unfortunately, but if you do the right things, you can overcome it. If you guys want to see a video completely based on concussions and how to get better from concussions, I'll leave that video down below. Make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the bell notification. I'll see you guys in the next video, mate.